This is a short video about file extensions. Windows 10 by default will hide file extensions from you. In computer science, we often use different or unusual file extensions that you might not see if you are an average user, and sometimes we want to change those. And so Windows tries to protect standard users from having to deal with any of that. But for us, it's going to be very important. So let's take a look at what actually happens here. By default, it hides them. So I'm going to open a new text document. I'm going to create a new text document by right-clicking on the desktop, going to New, and then Text Document. Okay, this may be pretty standard, and I might say I'm going to take some notes on something. And this is a .txt file. The extension I have typed in to match the type of data in my file. Now, there's no guarantee that the extension is going to prove that the data in the file matches that, right? This is just an assumption. When we see .txt, it's meant to help the user, but there's no guarantees that the extension matches the data. All right, but at any rate, I have this text document, and if I open up Windows 10 file browser, we can go to the desktop, and sure enough, there's notes.txt. That looks pretty standard. But if we go up here to View, we see all the way over here, File Name Extensions. This is unchecked. Okay, so by default, Windows is not showing me file name extensions. So when I check this box, we see an additional extension appears. So it turns out that it was not letting me edit the actual extension. I just added an additional .txt, and then it was still keeping the txt extension. Okay, so to illustrate one reason this might be important, let's uncheck it again. And we're just back to notes.txt, and then I decide I want to rename this file, and this is actually going to be a Python program. Right, so I can say program.py. Okay, so now I think this is a Python program. It's still just a text file, right? But it's a special text file that has Python code in it. But if I look over here and go to View and File Name Extension, I see I never actually changed the extension. It remained .txt. Now if I really want this to be a Python file with the appropriate extension, I have to first make sure Windows 10 is showing the extensions. And now when I run this, it gives me a warning, you're about to change a file name extension. Again, that's not something that the common user might do that often, right? But now we see the file change, right? Because we changed the file extension. Okay, so that's very important when you're in Windows land. Click on View and File Name Extensions and make sure those are showing.